Captured by the enemy. Year 3078. Outer space near Mars. Jack Carter was not a soldier. He was just a space engineer. He fixed ships. He built machines. He never held a gun in his life. But today, Jack was running for his life. The alien ship had attacked without warning. Red lights flashed in the sky. Earth's defense ships were burning. One by one, they exploded in silence. Jack was on a small escape pod, hoping to hide in an asteroid belt. But the aliens found him. Their ship was huge, black, with glowing blue lines like veins. It moved like a shadow in space. Jack tried to send a signal to Earth, but it was too late. The alien tractor beam pulled his pod inside. Alien ship. The prison bay. Jack woke up on a cold metal floor. His hands were tied. The air smelled strange, like metal and fire. Alien soldiers stood around him. Their skin was dark gray with armor that looked like bone. Then she entered. Tall, powerful, eyes like burning stars. She wore a black armored suit with sharp silver lines. Her face was hard, emotionless. This was the general. Her name was Kara. She looked at Jack, not with hate, but with curiosity. "He is human," she said in her language. A device on her shoulder translated her words into English. "He is weak." One soldier stepped forward. "Shall we kill him?" Jack's heart stopped. Zara raised her hand. "No, keep him alive." The interrogation room. Hours later, Jack sat on a metal chair. His hands were free now, but the room was guarded. Zara entered alone. "Why did you come here, human?" she asked. "I didn't come here. You attacked us." Zara walked around him like a hunter. "Your kind always think they own everything, even the stars." Jack stayed calm. "I just fix ships. I'm not your enemy." She stopped. "Then why didn't you run when you had the chance?" "I did. You caught me." Zara studied his face. "You're different, not like the others." Jack looked confused. "What do you mean?" She didn't answer. She just left. Later that night, alien base. Jack sat in a small cell. The walls glowed a soft blue. He heard strange whispers in the hallway. Alien guards talked in their language. Then a small door opened. A tray of food was pushed inside. Alien food. Strange, glowing cubes. Jack picked one up and sighed. "I miss pizza." Suddenly, he heard footsteps. A shadow moved outside. Then a voice. Soft, but clear. "You're not just a prisoner." Jack stood up. "Who's there?" Silence. The voice whispered again. "You're her plan." Jack stepped back. "What plan? What are you talking about?" No answer. The footsteps faded away. Next morning. Training grounds. Jack was taken outside the cell. The alien base was built inside a mountain on a distant planet. The air was thin, but Jack could breathe. He saw soldiers training, weapons, ships, strange technology. And then he saw her again. Zara. She was training alone. Fast, deadly. No one dared to go near her. She looked at Jack from a distance. For a second, her expression softened, but only for a second. Alien council room. Secret meeting. Zara stood before a group of alien leaders. "He is the key," she said. An old alien general growled. "He is a human, a weak one." Zara's voice was cold. "He is smart, brave, and different. You're risking everything. I'm saving everything." Back in the cell, Jack's thoughts. Jack couldn't sleep. He looked at the food tray again. It was fresh. Someone was taking care of him. Why? Why wasn't he dead? Why did Zara look at him like he mattered? He remembered her eyes. There was something hidden there. Pain. Secrets. Maybe. Hope. Suspense. As Jack closed his eyes, he heard that voice again. "You're not her prisoner." He sat up, heart racing. You're her plan. Fade out. The General's Secret. Planet Vorax 9. Alien military base. Jack Carter woke up again in the same glowing blue cell. But today, something felt different. The guard outside was missing. The food tray wasn't there. And the lights were dimmer than usual. Jack stood up slowly. The floor was cold, but not as cold as the silence. He walked to the door and placed his ear against it. Nothing. Then a sudden sound, the sharp hiss of the door opening. Jack jumped back. And there she was, General Xera. But this time, she wasn't in full armor. No glowing weapons. No guards. She wore a dark, simple robe. Her eyes looked tired. "We need to talk," she said. Jack narrowed his eyes. "Now you talk." "I don't have much time," she replied. "Neither do you." Private chamber, hidden from alien eyes. Xera took Jack through a hidden corridor. The walls were rough, unfinished, unlike the rest of the base. It was like an old part of the mountain no one used anymore. They reached a small room. Inside, maps, star charts, old alien tech, and something shocking. A human object. A piece of Earth tech. A small communicator, old and dusty. Jack stared at it. "Where did you get that?" Xera didn't answer. She turned to face him. "I need your help," she said. Jack laughed, bitter. "You kidnapped me, locked me up. Now you want help." "I could have killed you," she replied coldly. "But I didn't." Jack's smile faded. "Why?" Xera looked away. "Because I made a mistake. A long time ago. One I can't fix alone." Flashback. A secret past. Xera told Jack a truth no one in her army knew. Years ago, before the war, she was part of a peace mission. She had visited Earth. She had seen humans, their cities, their music, their kindness. And she had met someone, a human scientist. They worked together on a secret energy project. And slowly, they fell in love. But the council found out. They declared her a traitor. The human man vanished. She was sent to war, to prove her loyalty through blood. Since then, Xera had never spoken of it, not even to her closest commanders. "You remind me of him," she said softly. Jack was speechless. The plan. Xera walked to the wall and pressed a hidden switch. A screen lit up, showing a map of Earth, with red targets blinking across the surface. "This is not just about war," she said. "My people, they plan to destroy Earth completely. Not conquer, erase." Jack felt cold. "Why?" "Because your planet has something they want, a power source buried deep inside. They can't control it, so they'll burn everything instead." Jack shook his head. "And you want me to stop that?" "I want you to help me delay it. Just enough time for us to do something different, to change the story." Jack stared at her. "And if I say no?" She walked closer. "Then you'll die here. And so will your planet." Twist. Earth contacts Jack. Later that night, Jack sat alone in the chamber. Xera had left him there to think. He picked up the old communicator. It still worked. Barely. He tuned the signal, and suddenly, he heard a voice. "Jack. Jack Carter. Do you read me?" It was Earth Command. Jack's heart jumped. "Yes. I'm here. I'm alive." Static crackled. "You're in enemy territory. Confirm your coordinates." Jack whispered them. "Understood," the voice said. "We're planning a rescue mission in 5 days. Stay hidden. Survive. And Jack, yes. If you see the alien general, terminate if possible." Jack froze. The voice repeated, "Kill her if you get the chance." Doubt and dilemma. Jack sat in silence for a long time. Kill her? But she wasn't a monster. She had saved him. She had told him her secret. She wanted peace. Didn't she? Or was it all a trick? Was she playing with him? Jack didn't know what to believe. But deep down, a strange feeling was growing. Not fear, not hate. Something else. Curiosity. And maybe something more. A silent deal. That night, Jack returned to his cell. The guards were back in place. The food tray was there again, clean and fresh. But there was also a note. A small strip of alien cloth, marked with symbols. He couldn't read it. But somehow, he understood the meaning. I'm risking everything. Jack stared at the note. The enemy general had a secret. She had a past. She had a plan. And now, so did he. Alliance or trap. 3 days later, inside the alien base, Jack Carter was no longer just a prisoner. He was now something much stranger. A partner to the enemy. General Xera had given him food, space to walk, and time to think. But she had also given him something even more dangerous. Trust. And Jack didn't know what to do with it. Every night, he remembered the voice from Earth Command. Kill her if possible. But every day, Xera showed him things that made him hesitate. She showed him blueprints, maps, war files, and even secret transmissions. She explained how her own people were turning against her, how she had tried to slow the war, not speed it up, how they had made her a general, then turned her into a weapon. Now she wanted to break the system. She wanted Jack's help. And Jack wasn't sure if she meant it. Training room. A silent test. Jack stood inside a large circular room, holding a strange alien device, like a weapon, but not exactly. Xera watched from the side. This device controls the signal jammer, she said. With it, we can shut down their long-range comms for 30 minutes. That's our window. Jack looked at the device. It hummed like it was alive. You're sure this isn't a bomb? He asked. If I wanted you dead, she said, stepping closer, you wouldn't be standing here. Jack gave a nervous smile. Good point. But remember this, Xera added. If you betray me, they won't just kill you. They'll make you watch as Earth burns. Jack's smile disappeared. The mission plan. A dangerous move. Xera unfolded a holographic map. It showed a sector deep inside the alien base. The core archives, heavily guarded. Inside, there were control codes for the alien fleet. If Jack and Xera could get those codes, Earth might have a chance. We go in through the old tunnels, Xera explained. Sensors are weak there. But once we hit the data room, we'll only have 7 minutes before alarms trigger. Jack nodded, half listening. In his pocket was a hidden Earth transmitter. He had fixed it last night, quietly. It could send a short message. Just one. He had to choose. Warn Earth or warn Xera. The night before the mission. The fire conversation. That night, they sat near a heat core, a strange alien version of a campfire. The orange light danced on the walls. Jack looked at her. Why me? Xera didn't look back. Because you're not a soldier. You think differently. You see the cracks in the system. That doesn't mean I trust you. You shouldn't, she said. Trust is a luxury. I don't have it either. Silence. Then Jack asked, did you ever love that human scientist? The one from before? Xera looked away. Her voice was soft. Yes, but love didn't save him. She stood and walked off, leaving Jack with the fire and 1,000 questions. The mission begins. Into the shadows. The tunnels were cold and narrow. Jack and Xera moved in silence. She held a blade-like weapon that shifted shape in her hand. Jack held a scanner. They reached a heavy door. Xera used a bone-shaped key to open it. Inside, the core archives. A room filled with floating crystals, glowing red and gold. Jack began scanning. This looks like data from your entire fleet. It is, Xera replied. With this, Earth can build defenses. Jack worked fast. His heart pounded. He reached into his pocket, touched the Earth transmitter. One message, one choice. But before he could use it, alarm. Red lights, Sirens. Xera growled. They found us early. She grabbed Jack's arm. Run. Escape and decision. They ran through the tunnels. Soldiers chased them. Not Earth soldiers, but her own. They shot strange energy weapons that melted metal. One bolt hit near Jack's leg. Xera pulled him up. You're no good to me dead, human. They ducked behind a wall. Jack pulled out the transmitter, breathing hard. Xera saw it. She raised her weapon. You sent a signal. Jack hesitated. No, not yet. Her eyes burned. What are you waiting for? Jack shouted. I don't know who the enemy is anymore. Back in the base, safe for now. Somehow, they made it back. Xera sealed the room and blocked the signal trail. Jack slumped against the wall. She stood in front of him. Give me the transmitter. He handed it over. She crushed it under her foot. Jack didn't stop her. Twist. The Earth message arrives anyway. Hours later, in his chamber, a voice played from the old communicator. A delayed message. Jack, we traced your position. Earth fleet arriving in 48 hours. Repeat, 2 days. Be ready for extraction. Do not trust the alien. End transmission. Jack's stomach dropped. Extraction. Or invasion. He looked toward Sarah's room. Could he warn her? Should he? Or was this exactly what she planned all along? Suspense builds. Jack stood by the window, looking out at the alien sky. 2 days. 2 sides. One truth, still hidden. And deep inside him, a feeling he couldn't name. Not yet love. Not yet trust. But something close. Maybe hope. A mission gone wrong. Day 5. Alien base, pre-dawn hours. Jack Carter stood in front of a mirror made from alien crystal. He didn't recognize the man staring back at him. This wasn't the same space engineer who once worried about broken engines and oxygen filters. This was someone caught in the middle of a war, standing beside the enemy. Or was Xera still the enemy? He didn't know anymore. All he knew was that today's mission could change everything. Briefing room. One final plan. General Xera paced slowly in front of a star map. Her voice was calm, but Jack noticed a strange edge, like she was trying to hide something. We strike the vault at grid sector B7, she said. It holds prototype weapons. Dangerous. Illegal. If my people use them, Earth won't survive. Jack studied the map. And you want to steal the weapons? No, she said. I want to destroy them. Jack raised an eyebrow. Why not keep them for yourself? Xera looked at him, unblinking. Because some things are too powerful, even for me. For the first time, Jack believed her. The infiltration begins. They moved at night, under cover of a thick alien storm. Lightning danced across the sky like blue fire. Xera and Jack wore cloaks made of adaptive material. They shifted color with every movement, blending into the shadows. Jack held a device that disrupted motion sensors. Xera carried a pulse blade, now charged and humming quietly. They'd reached the outer vault. Jack knelt down. This lock looks different. It's newer, she said. They upgraded security since our last breach. Jack sighed. Of course they did. He began working. His hands shook slightly. I've never broken into a high-security alien vault before, he joked. You'll be fine, Xera replied. You're good at surviving. There was a pause. Jack smiled. That's the first compliment you've ever given me. She looked away quickly. Don't get used to it. Inside the vault, the trap. The door slid open. Cool air poured out, and a strange, quiet hum echoed through the hall. They entered carefully. Rows of strange alien weapons floated in clear magnetic chambers. Some looked like rifles, others like living creatures trapped in glass. Then Jack froze. I don't like this, he whispered. Where are the guards? Too quiet. Too clean. Xera looked around. Something's wrong. Then, CLNG. The door behind them slammed shut. Alarms triggered. Red light filled the vault. Zera spun around. It's a trap. Ambush. Chaos and fire. Suddenly, alien troops dropped from the ceiling. Dark armor. Red visors. They didn't hesitate. Blasts fired. Jack ducked. Zera charged. She moved like a shadow, her blade slicing through metal and armor. But there were too many of them. Jack tried to shoot back with a pulse gun he had taken earlier. It barely slowed the soldiers down. One blast hit near his head. Another burned his shoulder. He fell to the ground, screaming. Jack. Zera turned. In that moment, she left her position. A risky move. She jumped over him, taking the shot directly in the chest. She collapsed beside him. Jack reached for her. No, no, no. More troops came. Jack grabbed her blade, even though it burned in his hand. He stood, shaking, barely able to aim. But then, an explosion rocked the vault. A hidden backup bomb Zera had planted earlier. Smoke, fire, chaos. Everything fell apart. Escape, and a price. Somehow, they escaped. Jack dragged her body through a side tunnel as alarms echoed behind them. Blood, dark purple, dripped from her armor. She was breathing. Barely. They reached a safe zone. The door closed behind them. Silence. Zera coughed. Her voice was weak. Did we get the codes? No, Jack whispered. It was never about the codes. They wanted you dead. She nodded. Yes. I know. You knew it was a trap. I had to try anyway. Jack's hands were shaking. You saved me. Why? She didn't answer at first. Then she whispered, because no one ever saved me. The moment. A shift in the air. Jack cleaned her wounds the best he could. He used alien gel packs, taught to him by Zera herself. He stayed beside her all night. She woke up in the morning, weak, pale, but alive. You should have left me, she said softly. Jack smiled. Yeah, I'm bad at following orders. Her lips curved into the tiniest smile. Jack looked at her for a long moment. This wasn't just about survival anymore. He wasn't just helping her because she was useful. He wasn't just staying because Earth needed intel. He was staying because he cared. More than he wanted to admit. Back at the base. The aftermath. They returned to a base in ruins. Zera's quarters were trashed. Her command removed. Her soldiers replaced. She was no longer the general. She had become a traitor in her own land. Jack stood beside her, feeling like the only friend she had left. I lost everything, she said. You still have me, Jack replied quietly. Zera looked at him. No words, just silence. But her eyes said everything. A new proposal. Later that night, as they rested in a hidden chamber, Zera whispered something Jack never expected. There's only one way left. What way? A political bond. Between species. A symbolic one. Jack blinked. What kind of bond? Zera turned to him slowly. Marriage. Jack stared at her, stunned. You want to marry me? To stop a war, she said. And maybe, to start something new. Love in a war zone. Hidden outpost. 2 days after the failed mission. Jack Carter never thought he would agree to something like this. But now he stood inside an ancient alien hall, half destroyed by war and forgotten by time, holding the hand of General Zera. Well, former general. She was no longer part of the alien high command. After the mission gone wrong, she had been branded a traitor. And Jack. He was still officially Earth's enemy. So together, they came up with the last idea anyone would expect. A political bond, a fake marriage, between a human and a high-ranking alien female. A symbol, a message. That war could end. If 2 enemies could stand together, maybe others would follow. Maybe. The ceremony, not what Jack expected. Alien marriage was nothing like Jack imagined. There were no flowers, no music, no rings. Instead, Zara drew a sharp blade across her hand and pressed it to a glowing crystal. Jack had to do the same. The crystal read their DNA and lit up in green. "Your blood has been joined," the old alien priest said. "You are now one unit." Jack looked at Sarah. She didn't smile, but she didn't look away either. For a second, he forgot the war. Later that night, the confusing calm. They sat together in a quiet room. No guards, no weapons, just silence. Jack looked at his hand, still marked with a line of dried blood. "So, we're married now?" he asked. Zara nodded. "In the eyes of my people, yes. And in your eyes?" She paused, then said softly, "That's harder to answer." Jack leaned back against the wall. Same. New alliance, new enemies. The next morning, messages began spreading through the system. Some small alien colony sent back support. A few Earth rebel ships sent weak signals of peace. But the big powers, both human and alien, were furious. They called it betrayal, fake peace, a joke. Some even placed bounties on both their heads. Now, Jack and Sarah were not just married. They were targets. A moment in the garden, the old side of Sarah. One evening, Sarah took Jack to a strange place, a ruined alien garden hidden beneath the base. The plants glowed faint blue. The air smelled sweet and peaceful. "This was my father's garden," she said, "before the wars." Jack touched a leaf. It felt warm. "You were different before all this, weren't you?" he asked. Sarah nodded slowly. "I was soft. I used to believe in peace." "What changed you?" "My first battle," she said. "I saw my best friend die in front of me. I swore I'd never be weak again." Jack looked at her, really looked at her. And for the first time, she let him. The first real touch. They sat in silence. The wind moved softly between the glowing plants. Jack reached out and gently took her hand. She didn't pull away. She looked down at their hands. "You're warmer than I expected. You're softer than I expected," Jack replied. She smiled, just a little, and didn't let go. Late-night communication. Trouble brews. That night, Jack turned on the hidden communicator one last time. Earth Command had sent a new message. "Final warning. If you do not extract yourself from alien territory, we will initiate a full strike on the region. We consider you compromised." Jack froze. He showed the message to Zara. She read it slowly. "Then they've already made their choice," she said. "They're coming to kill us." Jack looked at her, his chest tight. "We could run." "We could," she replied. "But then what? Keep running forever. A fight over truth." Later, Jack and Sarah argued for the first time. "I didn't come here to die," Jack snapped. "You dragged me into this war." Zara's voice was sharp. "You had the chance to leave. I gave it to you. I stayed because I thought you cared." She turned away. Jack stepped closer. "Did I make a mistake?" "No," she said quietly. "But I did." Jack frowned. "What do you mean?" She turned around. "I let myself feel something. For a human. In a war zone." Her voice broke slightly. "And now, I don't know how to stop." The near kiss. And a choice interrupted. Jack stepped closer. They were inches apart now. The room was quiet. The storm outside had stopped. He could feel her breath. She looked up at him, eyes soft. No armor, no mask. He leaned in slowly. Suddenly, the alarm blared. Enemy strike incoming. Zara's face changed instantly. Soldier mode. "Get your gear. We're leaving." Love interrupted by war. As they prepared to escape through an underground tunnel, Jack looked at her one last time before leaving the base. "If this is the last time I see you," he began. She cut him off. "It won't be." Then she kissed him. Quick. Fierce. Real. They didn't say anything after that. There was no need. Betrayal from both sides. Underground tunnels. 2 hours after the attack warning. Jack Carter ran through the tunnels, his boots slipping on damp stone. Behind him, the base was gone, reduced to fire and smoke. Earth had kept its promise. The missiles came fast. No warning. No mercy. They didn't care Jack was still down there. He was compromised, they had said. A traitor. He looked behind. Zara was right beside him. Bird marks on her shoulder. Blood on her face. Still running. Still alive. But just barely. This way, she shouted, voice hoarse. Jack followed without thinking. They weren't fighting to win anymore. They were fighting to survive. Flashback. The final betrayal. Just 1 hour ago, Jack had opened the last Earth transmission. He was hopeful. Maybe Earth Command had changed its mind. But the message was short, cold. Target locked. Eliminate all hostile units. Human contact included if necessary. Jack couldn't breathe. They were going to kill him too. He showed Sarah. She said nothing, just nodded like she had expected it all along. They never meant to save you, she had said, only to use you. That's when the bombs fell. Tunnel collapse. No way back. A sudden explosion shook the ground. Dust fell from the ceiling. Run, Zara shouted. They dashed forward as the tunnel behind them collapsed. Fire rushed toward them like a wave. They dove into a side passage just in time. Silence. Darkness. Only the sound of their breathing. Zara sat up slowly. They're trying to bury us alive. Jack wiped blood from his forehead. Are we even on anyone's side anymore? She looked at him. We're on our side now. A new threat. From within. Hours later, after crawling through side tunnels, they reached a hidden bunker. It was once used by rebel aliens. Zara had stored supplies there long ago. Jack slumped down, exhausted. Zara checked the scanners. And then she froze. They're coming, she whispered. Jack looked up. Earth? She shook her head. No, my people. Your people? Jack stood. How did they find us? They never lost us, she said bitterly. They were just waiting. For what? For me to fall in love with you. Jack's face went pale. They knew, he whispered. Zara nodded. My second in command was watching me. He wanted me to break one rule. And I did. The second betrayal. From her own kind. Moments later, the door burst open. A squad of elite alien soldiers marched in, weapons raised. Leading them, Commander Drex. Zara's former student. Now her hunter. His eyes were cold. You are under arrest for treason against the Vorthan Empire, he said to Zara. Jack stood in front of her. You'll have to go through me. Drex didn't even blink. Gladly, but Zara stepped forward. Stop, she said. Let him go. This is between me and my people. Drex smiled coldly. No, it's between you and the council. A shocking offer. One last deal. Then Drex said something Jack didn't expect. We will spare the human if he kills you himself. Silence. Zara looked at Jack. Jack stared at Drex. What? You heard me, Drex said. You want to live human. Prove your loyalty. End this traitor. Jack's hands shook. Zara didn't move. She whispered, It's okay. No, it's not, Jack said. I'm not doing that. You might have to. Jack turned to Drex. Give us 1 hour, he said. Drex laughed. You have 30 minutes. Then we come in guns blazing. He walked out. The door shut. Jack and Tara were alone. The talk. A heart in conflict. Zara sat down. Her face was calm. Too calm. Jack paced. I don't care what they say, he snapped. I'm not killing you. If you don't, she said, they'll kill us both. Then let them. She looked at him, her eyes soft. You're still human, Jack. You can go home. No, I can't, he whispered. Home doesn't want me anymore. He dropped beside her. I only have one place left, he said. It's with you. The final escape plan. Together or die. Zara reached into her boot and pulled out a tiny device. This can cloak us for 6 minutes. Enough to reach the outer cliff. There's a ship buried there. A ship. A very old one, she said. I was saving it for when I wanted to disappear. Jack smiled. Now seems like a good time. Escape. A risk worth taking. They waited for the perfect moment. Then Sarah activated the cloaking device. Invisible, they ran past the guards. Past Drex. Past death. Blasts fired behind them. Some too close. Jack stumbled. Zara pulled him up. You saved me again, he gasped. Just trying to keep my husband alive. They reached the cliff. Dust and wind everywhere. The ship was half buried in the rock. A strange round pod with ancient alien script. Jack laughed. This thing flies. Let's find out. The final confrontation. On the edge. Just as they were about to launch, Drex appeared, aiming a rifle straight at Tara. No further, he shouted. You go, she dies. Jack aimed a small pulse pistol at him. Let her go. Drex smirked. You'd kill for her. Really? Jack's hand shook. Not because I have to. He looked at Tara. But because I want to. He fired. Drex fell. Escape. Into the unknown. The ship roared to life. Jack took the controls. Zara leaned beside him, weak but smiling. They took off into the sky, away from war, away from betrayal, away from everything. For now, a promise in silence. As the stars opened up before them, Jack looked at Tara. You okay? She nodded. I lost everything. Jack took her hand. No, he said. You still have me. The final stand. 3 weeks later, deep space, edge of the galaxy. The old ship floated in silence. Dark metal. Cracked hull. Scared from escape. Inside, Jack Carter stared out the window at the endless stars. His face had changed. A small scar ran across his jaw. His eyes were sharper now. Not just a mechanic, but something more. A fighter. Beside him, Zara sat with her arm in a sling. Her body was healing, but her spirit was still strong. They had survived betrayal, attacks, and each other's people. But running couldn't last forever. Sooner or later, they had to make a choice. A signal in the dark. The rebels' call. That morning, a strange message came through the comms. A rebel group, made of both humans and alien defectors, had picked up Jack and Sarah's last escape. They weren't just watching. They were waiting. Your marriage gave us hope, the voice said. A reason to believe in something better. Jack looked at Sarah. She looked back, surprised. They think we're leaders, she said quietly. Jack smiled. They think wrong. Do they? The plan. A dangerous return. The rebels asked for help. The Alien Council had activated a new weapon, a solar destabilizer. It would destroy Earth's sun within days if not stopped. Earth Command, too afraid to ask for help, had refused to act. Now, only one path remained. Infiltrate the Council base. Steal the solar codes. Stop the war forever. It was suicide. But Jack and Sarah agreed. Together. Infiltration begins. The final mission. The Council's stronghold was on a dark moon called Volter 3. It was built like a giant black pyramid, with shields made of pure energy. But Sarah knew a way in. The hidden tunnel only the old generals remembered. They landed at night, cloaked under asteroid shadows. The rebel ship stayed behind, ready for pickup. Jack and Sarah moved like ghosts through the tunnel. Each step felt like walking into history. Inside the Council base, the unthinkable. They reached the main chamber. 10 alien leaders sat inside, floating on energy thrones. One turned. His voice echoed like thunder. Xera, you return not as a general, but as a traitor. Xera stood tall. I return as a voice for peace. Laughter filled the chamber. Peace with a human. One of them sneered. You have fallen far. Jack stepped forward. Maybe I have. But falling in love is better than falling into war. The room fell silent. Then another leader raised a hand. Take them. The battle. Chaos in the throne room. Suddenly, the chamber exploded in light. The rebel ship crashed through the roof, guns firing. A squad of human and alien rebels stormed in behind them. Xera threw Jack a blade. He caught it and fought beside her. It was fast, brutal. One council leader fell, then another. But others escaped. Jack's moment, the code room. While Xera held off reinforcements, Jack ran to the core room. Inside, the soldier weapons controls glowed, already counting down. He had 2 minutes to disable it. He remembered Xera's lessons. Alien code flowed across the screen. He typed, fast, wrong. An alarm blared. He tried again. Sweat ran down his face. Then, click. The countdown stopped. He had done it. He saved the sun. He saved Earth. A goodbye almost happened. Jack turned, just as a blast hit the wall. He was thrown back. Everything went black. When he woke, Xera was holding him, blood on her hands. Don't die on me, she whispered. Not now. Not after all this. Jack smiled weakly. You still talk too much. The aftermath. One message, one future. The battle ended. The council's weapon was destroyed. Jack and Xera stood before a camera, broadcasting across both alien and human systems. Jack spoke first. We've seen what hate can do. We've lived it. We fought through it. We bled for it. Xera continued. But we chose something else. Not weakness. Not surrender. Understanding. Jack held her hand. If two enemies can fall in love, anyone can. Weeks later, new world, new life. A neutral colony was formed. Half human, half alien. They called it Solara. After the sun Jack had saved. Xera became a leader again. Not a general, but a guide. Jack fixed ships again, but this time for both species. They lived quietly, peacefully. But some nights, they would sit under the stars, remembering the war. And what it cost them to win. One last line. One evening, Jack stood on the balcony with Xera. He looked at her and smiled. You know, I never thought the ruthless alien general would become my wife. She smirked. And I never thought a broken human would fix my whole world.